As we come back, let us remind you that At the Post Live, Serling on Saratoga is coming to you live from the Parting Glass Pub in downtown Saratoga and is presented by Naira and Partners. The Belmont Child Care Association. Save the date, August 26, 2015, for the Racing for the Children dinner and auction at the Hall of Springs. And Special Olympics New York. Be a fan. Visit www.specialolympicsnewyork.org. Yes, that the Belmont Child Care Association Racing for the Children will be coming up in a couple of weeks. Everybody wants interested in buying tickets. I will be I think I'm sort of doing some hosting in that. I should be looking at Faye. Faye will tell me what I'm doing in that event. I'm not hosting it? No, don't worry about it. Anyway, my next guest, John Terranova, is having the kind of meet that I think a lot of trainers sort of dream to have in Saratoga. You come to Saratoga, you hope, I assume, you bring the right horses, and apparently you have brought the right horses, winning 5 races in the first 2 weeks of racing, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, everything coming out of Belmont was doing really well. We brought up a small group of horses to get started with, and the spots came up, and so far they've been firing pretty well.
Now, is it a situation with you, have you been pointing for Saratoga, or is it just sort of come around at the right time and getting a little lucky?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, whenever the horses are ready, we're ready to run, so whether it's Belmont, Saratoga, it's nice to come up here with horses that are ready, and the spots come up at the right time, and things work out, but, we're not waiting on anything.
How many horses do you have?
Right now, we're up to close to 50 right now in training.
And it's you and your wife Tanya who's here, pretty much running the show.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we've got a great staff, great crew that's been with us for a long time. Some new people that are doing a great job, and we've got a great crew behind us.
How long have you been training?
I've been training since 1992. I left New York after being an assistant for a little while, and I went out to California with a couple of horses. And I just had 2 horses. I had just met Tanya late 91. We'd started dating, and I left after New Year's 92, took a couple of horses to Santa Anita. I had just met, at the time she was working for Brian Mayberry, and I got to meet Baffert and everybody that Breeders' Cup 91 and a whole bunch of guys from California. Yeah, I liked it. Tanya and I, had started dating back then, so I moved out right after New Year's, took a couple of horses, and it was really Brian Mayberry that really took me in and kind of, took me under his wing a bit. Took me everywhere, went to the sales with him, was around the barn. I had my own horses that I was training, but I was really with him every day.
He was kind of a legend at the time.
Yeah.
Big-time trainer.
Great guy, yeah. Yeah, we miss him a lot.
Yeah. Was he trained for the Seagulls?
The Seagulls, the Mosses at the time, and they were very strong, especially with the 2-year-olds. They had a lot of success out in California, and, really nationwide. He'd ship east, and that's how I met Tanya. She was shipping with his stake horses back east. Oh,
I see. So now you mentioned meeting Bob Baffert. You and Tanya are kind of the unofficial sort of assistant trainers, Baffert in New York. How did that come about and that relationship start?
Well, Tanya had known him since he came over from the quarter horses back, late 80s out in California. So, they were all friends, and I got to meet him that fall of 91, and then moved out to California. And then Tanya and I came back to New York in 93, mid-93. And then, Bob started getting a little bit bigger at the time, and he had some real good horses. I think the first one he sent us was Cavanier for the Belmont Stakes. And he knew us really well from out there. So he said, I want to stable with you guys when I come east. And I think that was the first one of many.
And Cavanier lost the Derby by a nose, a heartbreaking loss, actually. Bob probably figured he'd never win another Derby after that.
That's right. Yeah, little do we know.
Right. And so as far back as that, so you've had, a number of sensational horses of his obviously come through your barn.
We have, yeah. We've had, you name it, anything you can remember that he's run in New York. Yeah, we've been around. It's been a lot of fun, and we've learned a lot. Having those horses in our barn. So now, how did you get involved in racing to begin with? I was young. My dad owned horses. We had, I was probably 10 years old, and, we'd come up to Saratoga. It was only 4 weeks, so we'd spend August up here.
The family would come up for the whole summer?
Yeah, the family would come up for the summer, yeah. He owned racehorses, and, I'd go out to Belmont on the weekends with him, just enjoyed being around the horses and working with them. Started walking hots, grooming a bit, doing a little bit of this and that around the barn. Went on to college, left school, and went back to the racetrack.
So now, what was it like when you came to Saratoga as a kid? You look forward to coming up here and hanging out here? You know a lot of people, or mostly racetrack people?
Oh yeah, we had a ball. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was big dinners, big parties, and a lot of fun at the races. And just being around the barn, just getting up and going to the barn in the mornings was a big deal, so we loved it.
Even back then, I mean, was Saratoga like now where it's I mean, I find in New York, I mean, I live in the city, socialize a lot, but up here, it's sort of we all end up going out with a lot, much more, I think, socializing more.
Yeah, I think here, it's a tighter group. Everybody's around. You walk into any restaurant, so you see everybody from the racetrack and at different places all over, and that's a fun part of it. Yeah, Long Island, we're a little bit more spread out. Yeah, you're in the city. I'm out a little further east, so I mean, everybody's. You don't see as many people day in and day out or at night, like we do here. So
probably helps relieve some of the pressure. And I think there is a lot of pressure in Saratoga.
There is, yeah. Everybody's watching. This is, it's a high-profile meet. You want to do good. You want to win, and everybody's watching. So you're out and about with people from time to time, and you can't really go anywhere without talking horses.
Well, that's a good thing. We like talking about horses. You were talking to me a little bit the other day at the track about how you went to Tampa Bay this winter for the first time, and you felt that maybe that's been part of the reason things have been going as well, because you're having not just a good meet in Saratoga, you're having a sensational year.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a huge stable. It's gotten a little bit bigger just, as of late, but we took a dozen horses down there for the winter. Everything that ran down there and trained down there, they came out of there really well, really fit, really sound. They all came back to Belmont, stepped it up. We're obviously, Tampa Bay's, a bit of like the minor leagues, you'd call it. So we went on and, everything we've run, even the horses that I just had that were training down there, they've come out of there really well, as opposed to some other years where I've had horses down and we, up against it down at Gulfstream and, training down there. So it seemed to work. So, and we also kept, a nice little string in New York through the winter. So, and they've continued on this year. So.
Do the two of you sort of shuttle back and forth a little bit, or do you make Tanya stay in the cold?
Tanya stays home, yeah. The girls are in school. They've got their...
Oh, you're going to use the girls as an excuse for staying in the cold while you're in the warm Florida sun? Really, that's nice of you. It's really great. Maybe next year you could take care of the girls when they're in school and she'll go down to Florida.
The kids came down for spring break, so we had some fun.
Right, so. And she still stayed in New York.
She did, yeah.
Right, that was also very big of you. It's interesting. I mean, I suppose winter for so many people is more about preparing for the rest of the year. I mean, I realize, but at Gulfstream, it just seems very competitive down there, and it's not necessarily as lucrative.
It is, yeah. I think, and we don't have the numbers to keep hammering away meet after meet and continuing on like that. And it almost, you got to step back a little bit and freshen some of your horses and hope that you make them last. I mean, we don't have the numbers to keep continuously replacing horses throughout the year. So I mean, like I said, we have got a great team, great crew behind us, and they've all do really well looking after our horses, and we just hope for the best.
So because of your connection to Baffert, how many people are asking you about American Pharoah coming here? What percentage of people?
Yeah, 100%.
It's amazing, isn't it? Everywhere you go in Saratoga, the first question they ask you is where or not he's coming.
They do. I got it about a dozen times today.
It's really amazing. Now, how much were you able to sort of enjoy and get involved in the celebration of American Pharoah this year?
It was really special. We were, taken back just by the horse himself coming in. He was, I have never seen anything like it. Bob sent a lot of grade 1 horses, a lot of great horses, Derby winners and everything through our barn. We've been around everything that it's come east with him, and he's just like nothing I've seen. Just this whole aura, attitude, everything. Just the way he handles everything. It's just amazing. And Bob too. I mean, all Belmont week, he was very relaxed. More so than ever. Going into a Belmont Stakes or going for the Triple Crown. I mean, everybody just knew. Something would have had to go strangely wrong, for him to get beat. He was just that good, and the horse knew it himself.
His Haskell was one of the most sort of otherworldly performances I've ever seen. He almost seemed to be mocking his competition.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I just think he's getting better. Yeah, it looked that way to me. And like I said, forget about being a trainer. Just as a fan, we were just taken back by him and being around him.
Yeah, and watching him, I actually felt watching the Haskell the first time I've watched horse, and I thought, it's really too bad that he's not going to run as a 4-year-old. I realize the economics and there's nothing they can do about it, but man, could he be good.
There's no telling.
Yeah.
There's no telling.
I may have to actually pick him one of these days, right?
Yeah, I wish, because who knows when we'll see another one like him.
Yeah, he seems to be pretty special, and obviously people hope that he comes here. And I know I saw Bob at the sales the other night. He probably the only person that didn't ask him whether or not he was coming to Saratoga.
He was at the barn the other day looking around.
Oh, really?
Getting a little map of the whole place, and get a feel for it.
Well, this whole notion that Bob never wins races in Saratoga is a joke. I mean, the guy's won most of our Grade 1 stakes. Silver Bolt Day won the Alabama.
Yeah.
Point Given won the Travers. Just because he didn't win with horses that may not have been as suited, it's not as though Bob hasn't had some major success here.
Year after year, we had Forestry for the King's Bishop one year, and JBK, I think, broke a track record first out. Time and he doesn't send as many east these days as he has in the past, but we've been, Silver Bullet Day, Alabama, yeah. So I mean, it's been a successful run. You can't say you can't win up here.
Yeah, he's done it before, and I'm sure he'll do it again. John Terranova, thanks so much for joining us on At the Post Live, and we all wish you continued success here during the Saratoga meeting. Stay with us. We come right back. At the Post Live is brought to you by NYRA. Wager on NYRA.com, NYRA's new state-of-the-art wagering interface.